There are almost 35,000 fish species currently living in our oceans today. According to the Global Universal Database of Fishes, also known FishBase, there are about 35,000 is fish that are known. That's excluding the genomes and genome mutations as well as subspecies. Marine biology is the study of water-dwelling organisms, the majority of which I'm thinking are in the ocean. Specifically, I will be discussing a type of marine organism, fish, which have three different classifications that marine biologists use to classify them, which is cartilaginous, bony, and jawless fish. Fish are important to the ecosystem as well as the planet as well as the planet in order to maintain ecosystem health, planet health, and just coastal regions having fish and food as a needed thing because fish is a major food source for certain people in the coastal regions of the planet and locations generally speaking. I'm a marine science major at Cal State Fullerton. In high school, I took about 3 semesters worth of classes in the field of marine biology. Throughout my life, I have independently read articles on marine biology as well as watched dozens upon dozens about documentaries since about the age of four, I want to say. Today, I will teach you about the three major ways that marine biologists classify fish. First, I will talk about what it means to be cartilaginous. Then I will discuss the difference between jawless and non-jawless fish. And finally, bony fish. Now that I've introduced the topic of fish categorization, I will discuss what it means to be a cartilaginous fish. Cartilaginous fish, as well as the picture shown here, is a whale shark. Whale shark are cartilaginous fish for the sole purpose of explanation that their skeletal structure is non-existent. Their skeletal structure is comprised of basically thousands upon thousands of just like cartilage strands and then muscle wrapping it in a strand-type muscle. I guess almost like how a spring is wrapped around several things to make it be strong, right? So cartilaginous fish are just any organism with cartilage wrapped in thousands upon thousands of layers of a muscle. According to the Encyclopedia Britannica, I want to say they mentioned that cartilaginous fish are of one of the two most known groups. They're considered to be living fossils because of their very similar relation to their ancestors from the Cretaceous period and era. One of the two major kinds of fish in this category are sharks, as shown here, the whale shark. Whale shark, or any form of shark, are known as apex predators, which means that they are at the top of the food chain. Their cartilaginous infrastructure basically gives them the flexibility and strength with less of a drag from water. Essentially, they're living torpedoes due to their very sleek design. The cartilaginous infrastructure is also very known for how you classify them. While a non-cartilaginous fish known as the Dunkleosteus, which is a extinct prehistoric creature that is basically a armored version of a whale shark or a Moby Dick. These sharks are armored with bone, hard, like skull-ish factors in a sense. This fish is basically the exact opposite of a shark. It is essentially an armored tank with bones forming powerful armor against basically predatory creatures such as a megalodon or a Moby Dick or colossal whales and any sort of colossal, basically any organism that's colossal and hunted these these organisms. The picture shown here is from the museum, I think, in Nevada, and this picture itself, just the skull and the neck plate, is about 1 ton of pure mass and just power. I discussed how fish can be classified as you would see, as cartilaginous and non-cartilaginous fish. I will next discuss the importance of jaws. As you can see here, obviously, these fish they have a jaw in a sense, but their jaws are very circular in a sense. The picture shown here is the lamprey. A lamprey is a fairly simple distinction how you can tell it's a lamprey. They have a jaw that's more of a circular motion in a sense, where it just circulates in a soft type motion to eat through flesh and basically have their prey in a sense. Their cylindrical bodies and long, kind of snake-like bodies help them become a long, I'd say just a large, the best way to tell you this is that they're a larger, long tube-like leech that allows them to prey and feed. An animal which is basically the inverse opposite of this is the vampire fish, or better known as a payera. I hope I pronounced that correctly. The vampire fish has a powerful, large jaw. They get the name from, well, obviously you can tell their teeth. The according to, I want to say, Dr. Mark Sabaj in Drexel University, the jaws of the vampire fish tend to be a kind of like a bullet in a sense that they specifically target the more critical spots of most fish to immobilize them, and then obviously devour them and eat them for obvious reasons. But the vampire fish is a jawless fish that evolved into a fish with large, more python viper-esque jaws. Now I've basically explored and kind of explained the jawless and the cartilaginous fish. I will explain the last classification of fish, which is bony fish. Bony fish, better known as goldfish to some people, are just any classification of fish that have scales on them. The term bony isn't a little relation to their structural integrity. It's more of what they're basically what's donned on them, their armor in a sense. Bony fish, also known as goldfish, have small scales on their body that provide protection from environmental hazards as well as parasites and other similar like physical instances that may cause damage to them. According to the Encyclopedia Britannica, bony fish are a bony, bony fish are a subspecies or superclass species known as Osteitis, probably pronouncing that wrong, or sometimes known by the astrological name Pisces, which include the great majority of living fishes. Virtually all of the world's sports and commercial fishes are considered bony fishes. While I've talked about bony fishes, another similar but not entirely bony fish, a non-bony fish in a sense, is the moray eel. It has skin similar to that snake's, but does not have scales that provide protection. This allows the moray eel to be more flexible, which is valued because of their more territorial and more, I guess, ambush style type of hunting for how they maintain their food. Texas parks, I want to say, explained how these fish live in small, very shallow holes, similar to catfish, but are more territorial and more aggressive. Their basic approach is they see something and within a 200 feet territorial like radius in a sense, they attack it and it's theirs, and they really target certain critical spots similar to vampire fish and stun and just kill the whatever they're hunting. In addition to the two methods that we just talked about, this third method, the bony fish, we can review the many classifications of fish, but there's probably millions different classifications of fish. In conclusion, though, I talked about the cartilaginous, the jawless, as well as the bony fish, and I explained what it means for each fish to be their certain classification. I will finally be basically just explaining that now you know the basis of how marine biologists tend to classify certain types of fish as jawless, cartilaginous, bony, or bony jawless, or just many different things, right? If you are more interested in this topic, you can take a deeper dive into that. But regardless of whether you want to learn about the millions pound fish, about 34,900 known species of fish, excluding the subspecies and genomes, you can have a greater appreciation for how varied life under the sea can help our humanities and ecosystems. Thank you. Oh, and this is why we're excited.